morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Marc Maguire. I'm at University of Nebraska, Lincoln. My colleague George Morcous is a professor here as well, and we run our PCI Foundation design studio here, and we're going to talk about kind of the details. So we're partnered up with our phenomenal local precast producers here, Course Lab Structures in Bellevue, just outside of Bellevue, Nebraska, Concrete Industries in Lincoln, Nebraska, and Enterprise Precast in Omaha. And they've been really great to work with. Anything we need, it's ours. So that's awesome. So I'll tell you a little bit about how we've organized our studio, which may or may not be different than others. And so we have kind of two programs that we're working with here. So the Durham School of Architectural Engineering and Construction, that's the home department for George and I. We have construction management students, we have construction engineering students, and we have architectural engineering students. Kind of one of the other departments in our college is the civil engineering department, and so we also have many civil engineering students involved in the studio as well. So our goals with our program are really to expose students from the very beginning all the way through grad school to as much precast as possible, right? And so we kind of partner up with individual classes throughout each of these programs, each of those 4 different programs that we talked about, and we deliver course content in those courses. And so we've kind of intertwined precast engineering throughout all of those different programs so far, and we're trying to increase it as much as we can. We've delivered content in over 10 courses through the 3 programs. We've developed, well, 1 course is fully developed and another course is in progress development. And we'll talk about those in a second. And we do precast site visits and also precast construction site visits. So we've got one of those scheduled with Enterprise Precast here in the next, I think, just after convention. So the first new course we developed was for construction management, and it's George kind of took the lead on that, and so I'll let George discuss that.
Thank you, Mark. We started that course last spring of 2022 was the first time offered, and we had it in the schedule as one of the construction management special topics until we run it for a couple of years, and then we're gonna get it in the catalog as a one of the electives for seniors. We allowed as well some graduate students to take the class, so we had a mix between senior students in construction management and graduate students. The reason we do that is because we have an existing civil engineering course in pre-stressed concrete that is offered every year, but that's only a grad only, and it's focused only on the design. So this course was focused on the production materials and erection of precast. Next. No.
Sorry, wrong way.
So we were lucky as well last year that the convention was in Kansas City, which is 3 hours driving from Omaha. So we took all the 10 students that were in the class. We took all of them to the convention last year. So it was great. It was part of the course that they have to go and they have to attend the exhibit hall and some sessions. So they get points in the course for doing that. So that was very successful, and we were lucky, as I said, because it's nearby. Next. We also had the students to participate in the big beam because we haven't done that. I think the last time was 2012. We have been absent for a long time. So we took the opportunity that this course, especially when we have a mix between undergrad and grad, so they work with course lab structures to produce the beam. Some graduate students were able to do the design because they had the pre-stressed course before. Others participated in the production and in the testing. Next. As Mark mentioned, we did the plant visit. CI was very supportive, also Enterprise Precast as well. Next. So it's just some pictures from the visits.
Yeah, I think this is course lab and the others were, like you mentioned, CI and Enterprise.
I think we had Mark can help in this. We had also guest speakers from either precasters or precast supplies or accessories to come and talk to the students in different courses during the last year, forming classes, handicap people for thin brick and for form release agents and things like that. So we had representatives from different producers in the industry that come to the class and explain to them the production process itself. Keep going.
Yeah, I'll just mention that the bolded class here, CNST 498, that was George's class, and so about half those speakers came and spoke in that class. But we also had them in civil engineering 850 and construction engineering 417.
Yeah, here's just a kind of a quick view of the syllabus of this course and how we developed it. And as I said, it's introduce precast construction to the undergrad, mainly, especially junior and senior, as well as grad students who do not get exposed to this in the research. So production, construction, preliminary design, material and material estimate and cost estimate, and looking at connections, tolerances, quality control. We used documents for PCI from NPCA as well. Next slide. So it shows somehow the list of topics by week and assignment and the quizzes provided. The references we used all these manuals. Midwest Precast were provided all those for free for the students, the director's manual, the connections manual, and the quality control manual. So all of those were given to students, and we had quizzes and exams on those. Next one. Yeah, this is one thing I did as well that I found it very useful. NPCA, they have online different quality control courses, and I asked students in this course to basically go attend all the presentations and take the exam. That's part of the final exam that they have to pass the level 1 quality control test in NPCA. And that's a free test. If we go to level 2, yeah, we have to pay for that. But that was a part of the course, and it was very useful. Students like that to be certified at the end of the class and having this kind of experience. We also get, but that's happened in the pre-stressed concrete class, which is we already do for grad students. We get Erection software people involved. So they attended, they had a Zoom meeting for an hour and a half to all the students, explaining to them the software, and then they provided them with a design project. So in precast, in pre-stressed concrete class, we had a final project that was administered by Ericsson group, and they basically attended the final presentation as well. Just to give you some pictures of that project, that's a project they did, which they designed double T columns, inverted T beams, corbels, and wall panels. Shows the mark now.
So that was what George described with the partnership with Erickson was very successful. And so in the second course that we kind of created here, it's offered both as an architectural engineering and a construction engineering course. But the title is Precast Concrete Building Engineering. And so it's kind of like George's course, only focused almost exclusively on, well, exclusively on the engineering. And so students could take both courses. I have some students in this course that were in George's construction course, but it is a completely different course. So basically, we go through the PCI handbook for the most part. There's no textbook that covers precast building engineering and other as well as the PCI handbook. And so we talk about many of the topics in there that are not covered already in the pre-stressed concrete course that we already teach. So what we've done is we've again partnered with Erickson software. This class is going to be completely project based. We're going to be designing, the plan is to have 3 separate projects for this class. We're going to do a cladding project, a traditional warehouse project with load-bearing panels, and then we're going to do a project with a total precast construction. The topic list you can see here, it's already changed a little bit since I put this in here, 2 days ago. We're going to be covering a little bit more on anchoring to concrete, but that was a student request actually, and so since it's the first time we're teaching it, I'm going to try to remain fluid. If students want to learn about something, I'll try to deliver that. But we'll talk about precast concrete materials and hardware. We'll review pre-stressed concrete fundamentals because it's been a while since some of the students have had that. That's not really the focus of the class, but it's a skill that's kind of needed. We're going through software, specifically Erickson. They provided software to all the students in the course and training for that software. We have training on the software next week. In the interim, we are talking about materials, and we've already started lifting, handling, and storage of precast components. And you'll see that I've also lined up several guest lectures. And so with my involvement in PCI and George's involvement in PCI over the last many, many years, we know who the experts are in these areas. And so we've got people like Ned Cleland coming in to give a lecture on precast concrete diaphragms. I just talked with Don Meinheit today. He's going to give a lecture next week on anchoring to concrete with post-installed anchors. And so we're able to provide what I hope, very robust engineering experience for these folks, because we're doing real building design with real engineering software. We've got all the experts delivering that information to them. And so I'm super excited about this class, but we're in progress. So anyway, I think that's all I have today. So I don't know if anyone's got questions, or if we just want to move into the next presentation.
I'm just really excited about how you're managing to combine all of the different departments and work together. Had you been able to do that much before?
So yes and no. I mean, so the Durham School, we house architectural construction and architectural engineering, not architecture, but architectural engineering and the construction programs. And George, since he's been here, has taught in both civil flavored courses and Durham School courses. Since I've been here, I've really only taught in the construction side of things. And so I've actually, that's not true. I'm teaching a civil class now. And so we're getting there. We're getting more integration between the two. I actually think that what we're doing here is increasing our engagement with the other groups, but it is generally easier for George and I to work within our school because civil engineering is a different department.
That's great. Does anybody else have any questions?
So Mark, I had a quick question, say Shri. So this new class you guys talking about this lifting hoops and thermals and stuff. That's great. I was just curious, is it what level is this class? Is it for undergrads mostly, or is it includes the grad students in this too?
So that's a great question. I would open it up to an undergrad if they requested. They need to have steel design and reinforced concrete design because so many concepts build off of that. I think right now it is only a graduate course because of that. But like I said, if anybody would ask me, we're able to kind of do whatever a student wants. If we wanted to open up an undergraduate section of this, I think we could. We just didn't have any requests to do so. But
right, because the reason I was asking was some of the topics are definitely way above what a typical undergrad is. So I just wanted to see, this is something that this is great. I mean, I think I would like to know how things go so that in future, if I could do something at UA like that's something I'll be interested in learning from you guys.
yeah, I think it's kind of I think it's a new concept. I don't know of anybody else that teaches these things. You might notice all I did when I kind of built this is I went through every chapter of the handbook that isn't covered in a traditional precast or pre-stressed concrete class. So most of these topics are covered at some level in the handbook already. And the fact that people like Ned Cleland are willing to come and give lectures to this class only just makes it better.